Hey there, Cancer, and welcome to your creativity tarot reading for the month of November 2019. I hope that you've had an amazing month so far in October and that things are just going great for you. My name is Kayleigh Jean, and welcome to my channel. While I was tuning into your energy for the month of November, I was given two distinct messages, and the first one was that I was seeing someone kind of seated on like a high up throne, almost kind of like an emperor type, and the image was coming through almost like a card in a way, like a tarot card of like the emperor, but it kind of made me feel like there's this side of you that can be a little bit hard to get to know. Because what was striking me about this sort of metaphorical emperor image that was coming through when I was tuning into your energy was that it really felt like this person was very strong and independent within themselves, but they were kind of hard to approach, actually. And I felt like there was maybe someone wanting to approach you or wanting to get to know you, or maybe wanting to spend more time with you, or maybe there's even a creative project that wants to come through you, or like a new path that wants to unfold in your life. But if you're a little bit closed off to it, then it could be hard to sort of allow what naturally wants to come forward to come forward. So the message is to focus this month in November on kind of being lighthearted when it comes to meeting new people and trying new things. This is typically a positive time of year for Cancers because your points that you have in Cancer are being trined by the Sun and any other planets that are transiting through the sign of Scorpio. So you get a lot of positive energy during Scorpio season. And I feel like the message with this, because we do have Mercury retrograde in Scorpio during the month of November, and it'll be in Scorpio throughout the entire month, but it turns direct on the 20th of November. So for the majority of the month, Mercury is retrograde in Scorpio, sending you this very kind of reflective and almost secretive mental energy. And I feel like the way that this could potentially connect to the message that was coming through in the meditation is that you may have a tendency to sort of want to play your cards close and not really show people what's going on inside of you. And that might be a good approach, for example, in a business situation where, let's say you have a new idea and it's very exciting, it's a new, very inventive concept and you haven't seen anybody else do it. Well then yes, definitely Cancer, don't say anything about it, because what you are sitting on could be, something really special. And so you don't want to kind of talk about that in such a way that other people who are maybe less integral or who are just desperate to pursue their own intentions may kind of consciously or unconsciously want to take from you whatever it is, whatever your ideas are or whatever you're working on. So if this is specifically coming up in regards to a creative project or like a business path that you want to follow this month, definitely it could be a good idea to sort of guard those ideas closely and guard your path closely, because not everybody is going to be quite as responsible and ethical as you are, when it comes to that type of thing. So in some situations, it could be wise that you're doing that, but in other situations in your life, Cancer, I feel like this emphasis on like guarding yourself or this emphasis on kind of holding back could potentially be holding you back from experiencing more joy this month. So just be conscious of that and maybe surrender some of your fears, like lay down or let go of some of your fears that cause you to always want to have your walls up, and let yourself maybe smile a little bit and laugh and be lighthearted maybe with somebody who's trying to get to know you, because I think that your energy is going to be coming off you're going to be coming across to other people as pretty mysterious this month, and I feel like people are going to want to get to know you or want to know more of like what you're all about. So give them a little bit of insight into your world, Cancer, and I feel like you're going to be really happy that you did, as long as you're doing that in a way that is, you know, relevant in regards to your situation and that feels right to you intuitively. Okay, Cancer, let's go ahead and take a look at your cards and we will get some more information. Cancer. Clear loving guidance for Cancers. Okay. So I was seeing someone standing next to like a body of water. I don't know if they were fishing or just kind of looking at the surface of the water, but it does feel very reflective. Cancer, Cancer, Cancer. Loving guidance for Cancer. Okay. So let's take a look. So we have Phoenix as your path. And we've got the Elephant as the influence. Wow. So this is a really powerful transformation that you're going through this month with the Phoenix. And it's leading you towards bigger and better things with the Elephant. So I want to talk about these first face to face. So the Phoenix card is your path, and anytime that we see this card coming up, I actually don't see it come up very often. It's one of the more rare cards, but I feel like whenever we get this, there's definitely a sense of rising up from the ashes of your past, and this seems to me like what it's calling me back to is the meditation message about you kind of feeling like the need in certain areas of your life to guard yourself, and wherever that in need is coming from, when it's coming from a wounded place, I feel like this Phoenix card is showing the potential of you kind of rising up through that like wounding, whatever that was that caused you to kind of put more walls up. And I feel like this month presents you with this really powerful opportunity for emotional healing and grace from that, so that you can actually release the tendencies that you have internally to like hold yourself back in situations where you want to do otherwise. And remember, we know that there are some situations where it's going to actually make sense to, you know, play your cards close. But I feel like there's also with this Phoenix card, it's showing that there's like a sense of empowerment that comes through having the wisdom and the ability moment to moment during this month to like open up and close. You know, I have a very psychic friend who expressed to me, you know, what she visualizes when she's kind of opening herself intuitively versus when she needs to kind of shut that off so that she's not always taking in a ton of energies. And her way of talking about it is that it's like a vent, you know, so you open the air vent when you want to tune in and you want to receive guidance or you want to understand what's going on with another person. You can open yourself to your own natural sensitivity, Cancer. You're a very empathic, sensitive sign. You can open yourself, and then it's also really good to know you can close it off when it's appropriate. And this is clearly coming through as a major theme because it just keeps coming up. But I feel like the Phoenix represents this major moment of empowerment where you're able to like harness that wisdom to know the difference of when to open yourself and when to close off. And so you're not going to be kind of like holding anything against yourself anymore or being hard on yourself for any decision that you make in any particular moment, whether you're choosing to be more open or kind of to shut down or hold back. You're going to know that you're doing the right thing, you know, based on the circumstances and the intuitions that you're getting. Now, the Elephant is the influence, and this card is actually associated with good luck. If you read this deck, it talks a lot about elephants being a symbol of prosperity and a symbol of long-term success, particularly financial success, but also just good luck in all areas of life. So this can be good luck in love, good luck in business and money. It could be good luck in terms of an idea, like a creative idea that comes to you that you're like, wow, this is definitely going to take me far. But whatever this is, there's like this powerful sense of belief in yourself that you can have this month in November. And with the Mercury retrograde, trining any points in your chart, or at least even by sign, it's in a positive relationship with the points in your chart that are in Cancer. What we get here is this sense that like you are uncovering the gems within yourself, right? Because this is Mercury retrograde in Scorpio. It's internal. It's not you seeing necessarily things externally that you're like, oh my gosh, I can, use that. It's more like you're seeing in yourself a worthiness or a skillfulness or a mastery or growth that you haven't witnessed yet in yourself. So it's like an internal emotional milestone kind of month for you, where you're realizing how much power you really have and how many resources you really have internally that will give you the ability to, move forward in whatever direction you want to in your life. So it's a very powerful draw. I want to go ahead and take a look at your tarot cards. So we have the Ace of Swords, the Three of Wands, the Furlt, which is the Temperance card, the Nine of Swords, Strength, the Lovers, Princess of Wands, and the High Priest. So I'm just going to tune in here. You're probably hearing the rescue dog barking. Sorry about that, guys. So, Cancers, I feel like there's a new idea or there's a new awareness that you're having coming into your mindset in the beginning of November with the Ace of Swords. And when we see the Ace of Swords next to the Three of Wands, it's like the Three of Wands represents that sense of things going off without a hitch. Like there's a sense of you looking to the future of something that you want to create and having done enough inner work, having done enough homework to really set yourself on a course that is going to be successful for you. And it's because of the work that you've done on yourself in combination with this divine spark of clarity or this divine spark of insight. And I absolutely love how this Ace of Swords is illustrated in the Druidcraft Tarot with the sword handle reaching up. It's glinting in the light that's filtering through the clouds, and there's the sense of like emergence from a murky environment. Maybe internally, maybe there was a sense of like lack of clarity about an area of your life. And then there's that moment of like breaking the surface and that sense of like, here it is. Here is what I need to do. And there's just this clarity moment. And then that's followed by the Three of Wands. So initially in the month of November, we see like the major components of the energies that are going on for you is that like really it's mentally, like mentally you are thinking different thoughts, and these are prompting new insights that are causing you to maybe make a new course for yourself or kind of set out in a different direction in your life. Some of you could be considering moving, for example, with this, or you could be considering taking a course or a training or something that's going to get you somewhere else. But it's like you get this sense with these cards that there's an inner spark of clarity. There's a sense that this is the right direction. But as we go deeper into the month, in the middle of the month, and this is something that I've seen in the cards for other signs as well, is actually that you have Temperance with the Nine of Swords. So what this is telling me, Cancer, is actually that it's funny because this happens so often for us, right? As creatives, we get this idea and we're like, this is the thing that I want to do, or this is something that I want to put my energy into. Like, I'm feeling really inspired by this, or I'm feeling like this is the direction that I need to go in. And then you actually initiate, what happens, you actually initiate that process, which in turn, as you initiate a process of growth or a process of change, our life takes on a totally different set of circumstances, and our life will move and change its shape because we have a new value structure or a new value system. So we're evaluating everything in our life differently as a result of the things that we've set in motion. And I really do see that you are setting something in motion this month, whether or not you're doing it like consciously or unconsciously, or you're doing it in a very active external way, or it's something that's mainly an internal spiritual process. No matter what, it feels like you're kind of setting something in motion, and then the fact that your life is sort of changing shape around you as a result causes you to think, oh my gosh, what did I just do? Because you have the Nine of Swords. So it's like, oh my gosh, I started working this magic here. I started something happening. Maybe you made an investment, or maybe you're going to like start something where you have to put in notice. For example, like if you are moving out of a place and you put in notice, there can be that moment where you're like, oh my gosh, did I actually just do that? Now I actually have to move. Or it could be anything along those lines, Cancer. You know, kind of the point that I'm illustrating is that you know that this is right for you, but knowing that it's right for you and actually seeing and witnessing the way that your life begins to morph and transform are different experiences. Like the spark that calls you to adventure doesn't feel the same as the moment of, your first trial in the journey. I'm talking about the hero's journey here. The call to adventure feels pretty exciting. The first trial can be like stressful a little bit because you're realizing that things are on the line, but you're never going to get away from that, Cancer. There's always going to be some element of risk in anything that we do in life, especially if we're creatives, which you guys are if you're watching my channel. So don't worry so much about this. I feel like this message is coming through as a message of comfort for many of you, because it's like the cards are saying, as you go deeper into November and you are making progress, the progress may be imminently reflected in your outer life, but it also may not be, because we're in, let's face it, Mercury retrograde in Scorpio. So you might realize, like, oh my gosh, I want more things to be like reflected in the external world to me right now so that I can feel validated about my choice, but this may not be the time for that, Cancer, and you may really have to put that trust in yourself and put that faith in the universe as well, that if you are really trusting and following your bliss, as Joseph Campbell talks about, if you really are following your bliss, you have to accept that wholesale. You can't just follow your bliss and not take any risk. It's not the point. It's not the point of being incarnated, in my opinion. So trust and relax. Try and relax, because there's a process underway once you get deeper into November, and that process is it's still going to be going through like internal and hidden underneath the surface transformation. So let's take the example, if you, for example, put in notice at your job because you're like, you know what, this job is horribly unsatisfying. I dislike the fact that the environment is toxic, and there's all these like reasons why I just cannot work here anymore. I'm not saying that's your situation, but just as an example. And then you actually put in your notice, and then you haven't found another job yet, or the one that you thought you were going to do fell through. That can be kind of an oh shit moment, right? But the thing is, if you talk to other people who've gone through experiences like this, especially people who are spiritual or who have a relationship with themselves that allows space for faith of any kind. It doesn't mean that you necessarily believe in God or believe in any concept or idea, but if you have some element of faith in your own individuation process and that there is meaning inherent in the structures of our lives, pretty much every person who has had this experience is going through an absolute breakthrough at that time. And if you talk to people who've had this experience, usually this is what opened up and unlocked the doorway to a path that was far greater than they would have imagined for themselves, but they wouldn't have had the ability to access it if they hadn't just jumped, or they hadn't just made that shift, or they hadn't just taken that step like the Fool. So that's kind of what I'm seeing here with the Temperance card, is it's like you're starting this alchemical process of growth, but then once that happens, the energy of your life, the momentum of your life naturally changes as a result of that. So don't be afraid of that, Cancer. Don't be afraid of that feeling. It's absolutely in your best interest. And I think many of you, especially with everything that's been going on in Capricorn, with Pluto and Saturn, and now Jupiter is going to be there, you are not a stranger to these kinds of internal and external transformations. I mean, you've had Pluto contacting your points in Cancer, if you have points earlier in the sign of Cancer, for a while now. So you're familiar with this idea of riding these transformational waves. So that's the message for you to just calm down in the second week of November. The third week we have the Lovers and Strength. So really powerful energies here with the Major Arcana cards. Strength in the Thoth deck is also called Lust. So there's a sense of really like physical energy in the third week of November, because Strength is also a very physical card. And then Lovers, of course, the way that this deck is depicted, it's so beautiful. But it is also very physical and could be implying some sensual or intimate connections that are coming your way in the third week of November. This could also, for some of you, because this person seems a little bit like, she looks very resolute, she may be representing someone, if there are, for some of you, like a triangle, like a love triangle situation in your life, or if you have feelings or attachment towards somebody who is bonded with someone else, or if you are in a relationship with someone but you have somebody else that you are thinking about. There's a lot of different ways that this could play out, but I just want to say that one thing that does come to me intuitively when I look at this is that it feels to me like there could, in a situation where there's like a love triangle, or even in a friend group, or in a professional relationship circle, like where there's 3 business partners, it could mean that 2 of them step off to do their own thing, and the third one decides that this is no longer right for them. So for some of you, if the triangle situation is relevant in any way, it could mean that there's a sense of, okay, one person is deciding like, this is no longer right for me, I'm going to be strong and I'm going to leave this situation. That could be part of it, but again, that's a very specific message. Regardless, I see, the majority of you with this information in these cards. I see the Strength card as very similar to the Princess of Wands here. I feel like this is kind of representing your energy, Cancer, whether you're a male or female Cancer, or whether you have like Leo energy in your chart or fire energy in your chart as well or not. I'm seeing these 2 people as you in the situation. So here's, possibly you looking at 2 people in your life that you're like, okay, this isn't working anymore. They're obviously like better for each other than for me. Or it could be that you're involved in this, and this whole situation is about your strength of being willing to open up and be intimate, and willing to explore intimacy in a new way with your current partner or with someone new. So either way, it's going to require strength on your part for whatever reason, and it's going to be unique to each one of you. But that's kind of what I'm seeing in the third week, and it kind of makes sense that we would see some fire energy, because right around that time we do have the sun moving into Sagittarius. We also have Mercury turning direct. He'll still be in Scorpio for a while, but he's going to be direct, and then the sun will go into Sag. So it's going to be a time where the energies are definitely shifting from more of a passive, reflective, doing your own work type of thing to like being more involved with other people and doing more external work, and that's around like the 20th of November when Mercury goes direct, and then the sun will follow with making a shift into Sagittarius on the 22nd. So it's definitely going to be a shift in energy, but you're going to feel really strong at that time, Cancer. So if you're not feeling quite strong leading up to the end of the month, just know that that strength is going to come back. And if you're feeling a little wobbly, or if you're feeling like you just want to do a bunch of inner work and not really a lot of external things, like that could also be part of it. But as you go further into the month, we have the Princess of Wands and the High Priest. So what I want to say about this, Cancer, is that it could be that there's some interaction between you and somebody who seems on the surface to interact with you in a kind of superior way. And I feel like when I look at this, not all situations are going to be fraught with tension or anything like that, but I do feel like there's a little bit of like a power struggle going on between these two people. At the same time, though, I feel like you have a lot to learn from this individual. So it could be a mentor coming into your life, Cancer, with the High Priest. Definitely trust your gut about any potential mentors or people like that in your life. Make sure that, you know, even if they are like very sage or very wise and have a lot of experience, make sure that they also are the type of mentor that is going to help you discover your truth, and that they're not just like kind of talking at you, telling you what you need to do or what you need to believe. But as long as you find that openness with this person, I feel like they could actually be a really great mentor for you. And obviously, if they're not approaching you in that way, if they're approaching you in more of a dogmatic way, then, you know, it's kind of more like she's waving that wand, like, see you later, you know? But either way, I feel like there's a potentiality of entering into like a mentor-mentee kind of relationship at the end of the month, which you may or may not want to do, but it is coming up as a distinct possibility. And if this person is like somebody who's really into energy work or cult work or shamanic studies, I see that being really strong for some reason with these two cards, like that there could be a shamanic teacher or a shamanic practitioner. But again, always trust your own gut and make sure that anybody that you're working with, you can leave that amount of space between what they're saying so that you can still process that information, kind of so that it will be true to your personal experience and not necessarily just having to take somebody always at their word. There needs to always be space for your unique perceptions. Okay. But I do feel like that could be potentially helpful. Let's take a look at an oracle card for Cancer. We have Reconnect with Spirit. So I think this is actually going to be easy for you to do. And look, we actually have the Magic card at the bottom of the deck. I was trying to like press it down so they're all in a line, but I just see the Magic card and we have Reconnect with Spirit. So this is a great time to do some magical work for yourself, or maybe hold a ritual in November at some point. I feel like the energy of mystery and the energy of your connection to your higher self and to spirit is potentially going to be very strong and accessible for you this month. So definitely take the first half of the month to retouch, get back in touch with your spiritual disciplines if you have them, Cancer, and if you've kind of fallen off any of those paths recently. I feel like the first half of November is going to be really, really beautiful for connecting with your spiritual side and for just relishing in your connection to your higher self. I think that's going to be really, really strong. You're going to feel your intuition increasing. You're going to feel very aligned with that. So that's what I'm seeing for you, Cancer. I hope this reading has been helpful. Please let me know in the comments. Send me a little heart emoji if you're still here at the very end, or if you want to share more about how this reading touched your life or what you got from it. I would absolutely love, love, love to hear from you in the comments, so please let me know. And anytime that you leave a comment or you give this video a thumbs up or you subscribe, it really does help support my channel in terms of the YouTube algorithms, and it really helps me to know that when there's activity on this channel, that you guys get something beneficial out of these readings, and it just really warms my heart. So please, if you're here and you got a helpful message or two from this video, please go ahead and let me know by giving me a thumbs up and subscribing and leaving me a comment. Thank you so much for watching, Cancer. I'm sending you a big, big hug. If you would like to book a personal reading with me, I'll put the information below to my 2020 year ahead pre-order forecast readings. And I will also put the information below to donate to support my channel if you feel called to do so. It would really, really help me out, because I am going to be doing your 2020 year ahead general forecasts by zodiac sign next month, which is going to take a lot of time for me, and I won't be able to do other paid work during that time. So if you want to support my channel, if you've been watching my videos all year and you want to say thank you, you can donate any amount and I'll put the information below. That would be so, so helpful. And either way, I'm just sending you so much freaking love and gratitude, Cancer. I think this is going to be a really powerful month for you, so hang on to your hat, reconnect with your spirit, and stay tuned in to yourself. Be creative, because I feel like there's going to be a lot of inspiration for you this month. So sending you a big hug. Mwah, love you, and I will talk to you next month. Bye.